Hi everyone, and welcome to Dolores Cannon's Quantum Healing Information Network. My name is Candace Craw Goldman, and I'm the Managing Director of Dolores' QHHT Support Forum. Our support forum is a community of practitioners dedicated to practicing the method of quantum healing that Dolores Cannon teaches. This program brings you, the public, information and stories from our community.
Well, when I started doing the classes 10 years ago, I had a small class of only 10 people, and they were all practicing hypnotists, because I thought that was the only type of people who would be able to do this technique. But then a few years later, people began coming to me and begging me, please let me take this class. I have no training in hypnosis, but I want to learn. They're interested in healing. They had other healing modalities. I want to learn. I want to help people. Please let me take the class. And I said, well, I don't know if you can learn it or not if you have no training, but I'll let you in and we'll see. But now I've found that the ones who have had no training are better at it than those who have had years of hypnosis training, because they don't have to unlearn anything. They can do exactly what I tell them to do and do it step by step without being influenced by other hypnosis methods. And really this is your case too, isn't it, Candace, of what happened to you?
Yes, ma'am. I remember making the call to your office about the class, and this was back in 2008. And I think at the time you still had a question if you were in the helping profession. I think you were still asking back then.
I asked that during the class.
Yes, and so I had taken a Reiki class and had been certified Reiki, but other than that, I had absolutely no experience with hypnosis at all before coming to your class, and it was very interesting to know that just somebody who, like me, who basically actually studied art in school, could come and learn your method and begin to help people.
That's what we tell people. A lot of them do have Reiki and different types of healing modalities, but it doesn't matter. Some of them had no training in anything. The main thing is the desire to help and wanting to learn. If they have that passion, that's all they need. And then if they just follow the instructions, step by step, anybody can learn to do it.
I think that's really important too. If when you're reading Dolores's books and you find yourself taken with some of the stories and you find the work exciting, even if you have had no experience in any kind of healing modality, you can still take this class and get out there and start helping people.
Well, Candace, how did you even find out about this, about the class?
Well, I was led to your class, I think, in a way that many of your students are led to you, which is a series of coincidences or
serendipity. Right. Coincidence.
And the same sort of thing happened with me. I was given a book of Your Convoluted Universe 1, I believe, and I didn't even, it was the only book that I'd had of yours, and I didn't even get halfway through it before it was time to get in the truck and come to Arkansas and take the class. But absolutely everything lined up in my life to be able to come to the class. A sort of magic thing started happening once your book landed in my mailbox, and I was caring for my elderly mother and children and there were many things in my life that would have prevented me from coming to your class. And the instant that I thought about coming, everything started happening so easily to get me there. And I'll never ever forget my life I just threw a backpack into the back seat of my truck, getting ready to drive 9 hours from Austin up here to Arkansas. And while that bag was in midair, I had this idea, I had this thought that I was going to be the one who would be your demonstration student. And that's the way it worked out.
And I never know in advance who was going to be the demonstrator.
No, ma'am, and actually I was almost testing at the SC, although I didn't even know to call it that at that point, because I didn't offer. I watched other people offer to be your student, a demonstration subject, and I didn't offer, but so many things had happened that I knew it was going to be me anyway. And it was from that moment that I really started to trust the SC and trust this process, because everything was just laid out as easy as pie when I started to trust and really listen. And I'm continuing that trusting and listening at the SC in my own sessions, and I'm getting really some fabulous, amazing results.
Because then from that ended up developing into you being the moderator and running the forum. None of that you would have even thought about back then.
No, not at all. And I believe that's why it worked out that way, because everything was positioned to a point to have it work out that way. And
that's why they said it's better if we don't know in advance what's going to happen to us.
Right. And I had I have to tell you, I had an amazing trip home from Arkansas to Austin after it was all over. As a matter of fact, I'm sure, and that's a whole nother story that I won't go into here, but I went into like a time warp. I went into a restaurant that I tried to find in subsequent years coming back to level 2 that didn't exist. And I found out with a little bit of research after the fact that there was a restaurant there, but like a decade or two before. So there's some sort of time anomaly, and there were some very strange things that happened on the road after I left your class. After having that session with you, my life has never been the same.
No, if that's good or bad.
It's been wonderful, and it's been my passion since then. Thanks, Dolores.
We thank you for doing this, the work to help us. We can't do it all by ourselves.
It's my passion and my pleasure. Thank you, Dolores.
After the person has taken the class in the quantum healing hypnosis to learn my technique, we don't leave you out there all by yourself, like a lot of other groups do. Because we know when you're first beginning to learn something and beginning to practice it, there are a lot of questions. And there's a lot of things you need help with. You have problems, and you would like it if you could have a support group to help you. No other place that we know of does this. But we decided to not let the student be out there hanging. So we have developed the practitioner forum. And this is where the student can ask the questions and get information. If they're having problems, they can come on and discuss it. And the other students, practitioners, will help them with the answers. And it's a very good information back and forth. And if they don't know the answers, then it comes down to my office. And if they can't answer the questions, it comes back to me. So eventually, all the questions are answered. So it's a very good support group. And Candace is our moderator, and she was there at the very founding of it. In fact, it's your baby, isn't it?
It very much feels like my baby. Yes, thank you, Dolores. I remember taking the class with you several years ago, and it was our last day, and I said, Dolores, I know I'm going to have so many questions, and you were so sweet, and you said, just call the office. You can just call the office. And I thought, well, goodness gracious, I don't think you'll want me to call you every day. But we did speak, and then decided, and with your blessing, we decided to form a group online and come up with exactly that, a place to support the students and practitioners of your method, and it's turned into a wonderful thing.
If they have problems, they can have a place they can air it and talk about it.
It very much is continuing education of your method, and we share session stories, and the experienced practitioners give advice to those who are just coming along. And then we have, of course, the videos every other week from you answering our even more questions that we have.
If there's something none of them can answer, you said there's always some that some people want to know, more complicated material, and that's when we do the videos, and that is shown on the YouTube.
Well,
Facebook, or which one?
Well, we do some YouTube interviews for the public about some session information, but the videos that you do for the practitioners stay just in the forum for those who've taken your classes.
Yes. In the beginning, when this was formed, we had people emailing us. They just wanted to go in there and just read what everybody was saying. We said, no, that's not allowed. This is strictly private. And we want to keep it that way between those who have taken the class. So they're the only ones that are allowed to send information in and participate. So it is a private group, but we think it's serving a good purpose.
That's a very good point, Dolores. When the practitioners share information that they've learned, they can feel confident knowing that this information stays right there. And I like to tell our practitioners that coming to the forum is like coming to Dolores's front room, and so everything that happens, everything that is spoken about there stays there, and we all, of course, very much want to support your method and keep it pure.
Because there are a lot of questions when people are first beginning this, and it is good to have someone to talk to.
I said today to the first level class this morning that they're going to have questions they can't even conceive of right now, and more questions will come. And even though I've been doing this for going on 5 years now, I still have some questions, or I still have learning anyway. When people come in and share their session stories, I learn just as much as everyone else. And when we all come together and share in that community, we all become stronger practitioners.
And all of the questions people have asked since this started in 2008 are in archives. And so that's what we said. Just about any question the beginner could want to know is probably in the archives. And it can be accessed through this forum also. So anything they would want to know, somebody else has probably already asked it and got an answer to it. And that's okay, that's what we're there for.
That's right, and since it's a professional bulletin board style forum, it's much easier to access information and download documents. For instance, we have, the recent tweaked script documents to download. We have documents in other languages. All the other languages, we're collecting them, and we're collecting frequently asked questions. So that the newer practitioner can access those and quickly scan those to help them in their beginning practice. And then we're there to support each other in other ways.
And we're teaching this method all over the world. In many countries, we're traveling constantly. And we are preparing a library of the translations of the script, because many of them want them in their language. And so we've got a library of that they don't want to do the sessions in English, they can do it in these other languages. So it is growing in that way.
And it's amazing to have contact with practitioners all around the world, Australia and Romania, and just every place, China and Japan. We're making friends, and to help support the sort of grid around the planet of practitioners who are really concentrating on quantum healing hypnosis the way that you've taught us.
This is all making for much stronger practitioners. Mm-hmm. They're having much better results because you're not out there all by yourself. There is a very active support group to help, and that's very important to know.